Hey, James Baker here, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to open an LLC and as a non-resident in 2024, and I'm going to give you all the tips and tricks. I've been doing this for clients for a long time, and it's very confusing. There's a lot of bad information out there, and there's a lot of convoluted information out there. So I'm going to keep it as concise as possible, because if you are an international person and you are running an agency, or you're doing e-commerce, or you're a freelancer, you can have a U.S. company and U.S. bank accounts and not pay taxes in the U.S. Sure, there's compliance and there's forms you have to do, but you actually don't have to pay income taxes if you do it the right way. The steps to start the LLC are very straightforward. I have it broken into 3 steps, and I'm going to go through the details in the 3 steps. Step number 1 is register or form it with the state. Sure, you have to choose the state, and normally it's going to be between a Delaware, a Wyoming, a New Mexico, or a Florida. I would say Wyoming is what we use for most clients. It costs basically $100 to register, and you need to pay a registered agent in whichever state you choose. So if you choose Delaware, you choose New Mexico, you choose Wyoming, you need an agent in the state to act as your service and process. So if anyone tries to sue you, there has to be a formal permanent person at an office to receive any kind of demand, and it's something you pay for, and it generally costs between $25 and $100. Most clients are going to do New Mexico, which is basically $100 or $50 to form it, and then you just pay your registered agent every year, or Wyoming, which is $100, and I think it's a little better because of the general sales tax, but honestly, it doesn't make a difference. Just get started and start making money. You can open another LLC later. If you want to do Wyoming, if you want to do New Mexico, either one is fine. So first, you have to register it with the state. I would pay a service to do it. Personally, I wouldn't do it myself. I mean, obviously, I have a service where I do that for clients, and we work with clients, and we have a mastermind and a community where we teach you how to do your own tax forms to keep the cost down, and we let you collaborate with other people in the Global Business Growth Club. It's pretty cool, and we're relaunching and rebranding it now, so I definitely encourage you to check that out. But it's not really required. All you have to do is go to the state. You have to pay a registered agent. You have to register, file a form with the state, and open the company. Again, there's 10,000 different companies that will register an LLC for you. Registering the LLC is pretty straightforward, and no one should charge you more than like $50 to do it, just because of the competition of just registering an LLC. Once you get that, you'll get your articles of organization, and that'll have your registered agent on there, and you might need a business address to put on there. Whatever company you use to open the LLC should be able to help you out with all of those documents. That's why I would use a company to do it. Again, that also will help you stay anonymous. New Mexico, Wyoming, and Delaware don't share the ownership information on the website, while Florida does. So I would definitely use some company for that. We obviously do it for our clients. It's included in the Global Business Growth Club membership, but you can use InkFile, you can use Zen Business, you can use LegalZoom. There's literally 10,000 companies that do this. So that's number 1. Step number 2 is get your EIN letter. Now, I've done many videos on how to complete Form SS4. That's how you get the EIN letter. And there's a trick to get your EIN faster. So once you complete the SS4 correctly, I'm not going to go through the form in the video, but once you complete it correctly, you fax it with your articles of organization attached to the back of the SS4 that you have signed. Then after 5 business days, you can call the IRS and request an update and request that number, and they can fax you that form, fax you the number. So you can get your EIN by calling the IRS in as early as like 6 or 7 business days. We have someone on our team full-time doing that, and it's not like the easiest process because the IRS is difficult to work with sometimes, but it's possible, and that's how you do it. And on the group, we have a list on like the numbers to use to do that. So there's like certain phone numbers that you have to call. To call the IRS, you need a copy of your EIN application. They're going to ask you questions about it. So the SS4, you need a copy of that. You need a secure fax number. People use Fax.Plus. People use MyFax. There's a lot of online fax services. You need to ensure to the operator that you are the person that has access to the fax and you're ready to receive the letter. And then you confirm the receipt that they've sent the letter. So you're basically calling, hey, I have this form, I submitted it, I need my EIN, and they'll fax you the completed form. And then you can call back the next day and request the 147C letter if you need that for the bank as well. The next step, number 3, is opening a bank account. Now, I like to recommend Relay Financial and Mercury. They're not banks, they're fintech software companies with banking partners. So your money is FDIC insured. I have many other videos about these banks, and I have, affiliate links below. I think you get free stuff if you click them. It doesn't cost you more. if you're here watching, you might as well click those links and save them. That would be really cool. I just want you to get your accounts approved. And I've been told by Relay that if you click my link and you use my link, it does come in with higher trust and a higher chance of your account getting approved. So with the banks, you generally need your foreign proof of address. So you're going to need proof of address in the country where you live. You may not need to submit it, but I think Relay asks for it. So you might need like a local bank statement. So if you're from Belgium, then you need a bank statement for your Belgium account. And you'll probably need to upload that to the bank when you do the application. You want to be honest on the application as much as possible, and you want to focus on how you're serving U.S. clients and you have U.S. activities. Mercury asks more about your business and your activities than Relay does, but you want to be honest about this and tell them, yes, I have clients in the U.S., I have suppliers in the U.S., and I have assistance and support in the U.S. So basically that you're doing business with people in the U.S. without doing business being taxable in the U.S. You do have ties to the U.S., and that's what Mercury wants to confirm. So Relay doesn't ask as much about that, but I would always encourage you to open both. Both banks are free, and you always want to have a backup in case one gets shut down. I'd also encourage you to maybe try wise.com. There's other non-bank payment tools that you can use, especially if you're going to be sending money back to your home country. So those are the 3 steps for forming an LLC in 2024, and I'll touch them over again. You register with the state. Again, New Mexico is fine. It's $50 cheaper than Wyoming. We usually use Wyoming. I think they're easier to deal with. Florida's fine. It's public information though. And Delaware is fine, but it's a little slower and more expensive. So, those are the states most people choose. At the end of the day, none of them are taxable. None of them are subject to tax if you're doing no business inside the U.S. If you're all remote, a freelancer abroad, e-com store, and you live abroad, it's all tax-free. Step number 2 is get your EIN number. It's a very important number that you need from the IRS. You get this by completing Form SS4, and then you can call them to speed the process up. And then the last step is opening bank accounts so you can transact. So you need to be able to get paid to have a successful business. So again, whether you are a freelancer, you have an agency, or you are doing some kind of e-commerce, this is a great way to do business, to have a U.S. company and to have U.S. bank accounts and be able to invoice in the U.S. As a follow-up, I want to tell you the tax compliance forms required because we still have a couple minutes left here. If you have a single member LLC, all you have to do is the initial BOI report. And if you use a company that's opening the company, if you use a business to open your company for you, they should be filing the initial beneficial ownership information report. So that's another reason to use a third-party company to register your LLC. Again, we do it. I'd love to do it for you. That should be done for you. Then, if you have one owner of your LLC, you have to complete a pro forma 1120 plus 5472 by April 15th of the following year. So if you open an LLC in January, you don't have to file anything until January of the next year. That's when you have to start thinking about that. Same with a multi-member LLC. That means you and your wife or you and your cousin own an LLC. You don't have to file anything until March 15th of the next year. So from the BOI compliance should be done, and then the tax compliance, you basically have nothing to do for the whole year. Definitely subscribe to the channel. I talk about a lot of other things that are important when you're a foreign-owned LLC owner. Message below if you have any questions, or schedule a free call with my team at jamesbakercpa.com/schedule. I have another video I did that I want to promote because I think it's really good about how to get credit cards in the U.S. This is an interview I did with a guy who has a bunch of credit cards and is a foreign person. He told me how he did it. So click that, check that video out. I think it's good, and I appreciate you being here. Have a great rest of the day.